Roger, how far will you go in this country to test and to look for electronics eavesdropping devices and other measures? Will you go all over the place, or do you restrict yourself?
Well, I can't get on aircraft anymore because of the problems with them. Not only you show up with this kind of equipment, they go crazy.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so no, but we did go to Texas to work for a very wealthy lady that was being electronically harassed, and she had a mansion, and it was pretty interesting because someone had previously been there, and they had her coat all her walls with copper, kind of a copper foil, but kind of a heavy copper foil. I mean, not only were the walls covered, but the floors as well. They took up the carpets. The whole room was copper foil, top to bottom. She was being radiated to the degree where that was. So anyway, this individual that advised her to do that, kind of didn't complete it. And we went in there. I ran some tests on it. It was educational because I was curious to see how well copper foil did. And unfortunately, at the microwave frequencies, it made no difference at all.
Doesn't stop it at all, does it?
No, I even went out and bought a ground rod because it wasn't grounded. So I went down to the hardware store and got a 6-foot ground rod and drove it in and got copper wire and grounded the whole room because I thought that might be the problem. But it did knock down the 60 cycle stuff, lower frequency things. But it didn't do anything. So, but we do have things that we do. In other words, we use some material called EchoSorb.
EchoSorb, what is that?
It's ECCOSORB, and if you go into the internet, you can run that through Google and come up with the company. It is a microwave-absorbing material. It's used mostly by the military, and they put it on parts of antennas where they don't want echoes.
Is it rubber, plastic? What is it?
Yeah, it's a foam. It's about a 1 foot by 1 foot, 2 foot by 2 foot square foam, about 2 inches thick. And it will knock the signal down, in some cases, 60 dB, which is a considerable amount of absorption. So we have clients of ours that are that can't live other places that will actually build kind of like a coffin
for themselves
to sleep in, so that they can stop the harassment while they're at least sleeping.
Now, how many of these people do you think are just they're making it up? They just think that this is happening to them.
Yeah. Well, you know something? I'm not sure, but I can tell you that I see such a consistency in the symptoms, the stories, the backgrounds, that you say your email's going crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well, just try to get a feel for how many people are targeted individuals. I mean, it could be thousands and thousands.
Let's go to the phones.
And over the world as well.
Wildcard line, welcome to Coast to Coast. You're on the air with Roger Tulsis. Hi there.
Hi. You just mentioned, I don't know if it works the same with aluminum foil, but other guests on the show have said to put aluminum foil on your doors and windows as protection for mind control, I think the HARP. And I was wondering if that would work. And also I was wondering if since we have this 24/7 satellites all over the world, why didn't we detect where all the weapons are? And also, why we haven't found more money of the Islamic terrorists, since they can track everything we do.
Well, have they? I'll tell you the one thing I haven't also heard, Roger. Remember after 9/11, they said someone, some group, something sold short stock in like American Airlines and insurance companies and things like that. Remember that story?
I do.
How come we never heard anything else?
Because there might have been somebody in power.
Unbelievable.
And also if somebody was in the know, they don't want anybody to know that. So, hopefully, eventually, someday, the truth will come out, on all this stuff.
I mean, we didn't hear anything about who sold short, all that stuff.
I just don't like the whole 9/11 thing. There's something about it to me that just doesn't.
Can't quite put your finger on it.
It's the story is yet to be told, but there's something not right about it. And the thing that really bugs me is this Patriot bill was ready to go. I think it's 360 pages or more of legislation that got fast-tracked through. Most legislators never read it. It got fast-tracked through because of these two buildings coming down.
Well, that's true.
And which crushed a lot of the freedoms of our country. And this document was ready to go.
Well, you know what? Well, let's hope we do get to the full bottom of what this was. But anyway, what about aluminum foil? Some people use that.
You know, my guess is it's not going to be any better than this expensive copper stuff. That it's not going to help at the higher frequencies. It's probably just going to, help you at the low stuff. But if you're really getting harassed with microwaves, then the only thing that I've seen that's kind of bright is there's this fellow out of New York named John Mecca, and he makes a low, kind of a low-power jammer that you wear around your neck. It's like a little electronic device, and you wear it kind of like a medallion, but it's a little bit thicker than that.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody showed it to me that bought one. I said, well, gee, this is interesting. I took it and put it in my shop, and sure enough, the thing does make wideband noise. I mean, all the way up through the gigahertz range. It was really kind of amazing. I was kind of amazed because this lady was saying, yeah, when I turn this thing on at night, I put it by my head at night, I get relief. I'm able to jam these microwaves out, and I am able to get rest. So, and if anybody wants to contact them, they can email me, and I'll put you in touch with them. And all I can say is I put the unit on the bench, and it did make wideband noise. And it's such low power that it's not going to interfere with other things as long as you keep it close to yourself.
I get a lot of phone calls and emails from people who hear around the country a very low humming sound coming from underground. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea what that could be? I think somebody's building something, to tell you the truth.
Well, you can make people hear whatever you want with microwaves. That's the thing about microwave sound is I can make you hear anything you want. I can make you hear voices. I can make you hear waterfalls. You name it. As long as I'm transmitting that content, that's what you're getting. The other symptoms you may notice about people that are being radiated with microwaves is that their body tends to vibrate. Their beds vibrate, and their sense of things is that things are moving around them. And of course, their muscles are twitching based on the radiation.
Does everybody have a different frequency?
I think so. In a sense that we're all basically similar in nature, but then there's this finite biofrequency that we have. Each one of us, like I was saying before, I think that they've developed a way to make one person hear the message and two people not, because they've been able to figure a way to code the biosignal for your bioreceiver.
East of the Rockies, welcome to Coast. Your turn. Hi.
Hi, this is Corwin out of Austin, Texas. How you doing?
Hi, Corwin. Fine, thank you.
Wanted to tell you about a friend of mine who's been a victim of electronic harassment that I've known of since I've known this person for about 5 years.
What happened to him?
Well, little background is his friend used to work for Lockheed Missiles in Space on space debris.
Okay.
And basically what's been going on, we've been having the voices in the head and bouts of emotion, just out of nowhere, like sudden fits of anger or bouts of depression or crying or...
Even when you're with him, you'll see him just break right down?
Yes. And also, like, swelling on the face, just... Their lips will, they'll look like Mick Jagger.
Why do you think they'd be after him?
Possibly because this friend worked on some stuff that nobody's supposed to know about.
What do you think, Roger?
I think he's in the program.
Well.
And one more thing I wanted to mention as far as list of symptoms are concerned.
Yes, sir.
Thyroid dropout.
Thyroid dropout.
Drop out of the thyroid gland, more specifically the thyroid production.
So what does a person like his friend Roger do to combat this?
Well, you know, a lot of people leave the country and head for the wide open spaces. But if you actually have to stay contained, then you better start looking at EchoSorb or some kind of jamming device or some kind of countermeasure.
How are they beaming to him? How does that work?
I don't know. Basically, what we would do in his instant was we would go to his location with our equipment and determine the nature of the wave, the source of the wave, and make some kind of finding in that way.
I assume you would get that if they're beaming pretty quickly.
That's right. If it's operating, we will get it. But we travel in a very covert manner so that most people don't know that we're there.